Hi my international friend, thank you for stopping by. My name is Juliana and in this video I'm going to share with you about my experience on how to visit Mount Teide in Tenerife, Spain. So stay tuned until the end of the video. If you want, you can skip to your desired chapter that you can find in the description box below. First of all, I'm going to talk about what is Teide. Teide National Park is the most important touristic attraction in all Tenerife in the Canary Island, Spain. This is a must-stop visit because Mount Teide is the highest mountain in Spain with 3,715 meters above sea level, and it's the third highest volcano in the world from its base. It's named a World Heritage by the UNESCO, and it's also the 8th more visited national park in the world with around 3 million visits per year. Next, I will tell you about how to arrive to Teide. The Teide volcano is located in the center of the island Tenerife. There are two main routes to reach the national park. First is from the north, departing from La Orotava, and the other one is from the west side, departing from Chio. Apart from that, there are another two secondary roads departing from the south and east. So, wherever you stay, it's possible to visit the park from any part of the island. Now, I will share about what to do in Teide. Before going to Teide, you should know first what kind of activities you can do around here. The main activity here is obviously hiking. As you can see, here I have the map of Teide National Park with all of its trails. It's very useful. There are 41 official trails to hike. I will put the link in the description box below so you can download the PDF version. Now I will tell you based on my own rank which tracks are the best. For expert hikers, I would recommend the trail number 7, Montaña Blanca La Rembleta, and the trail number 9, Pico Viejo. Apart from those, there's another alternative trail that I could also recommend. From there, you can have the best views from the Mount Teide itself. It's the trail number 15, Alto de Guajara. From beginners and intermediate hiker, I would recommend the following paths. Trail number 3, Roques de Garcia. Number 10, Telesforo Bravo, which is the summit of the Mount Teide. Number 12, Mirador de Pico Viejo. Number 2, Arenas Negras. And number 11, Mirador de la Fortaleza. By the way, Mirador in Spanish means viewpoint. And then, suitable for all levels, you can take a look to the different landscapes from all the numerous viewpoints surrounding the main road. There are many cool miradores everywhere with all kinds of rock colors varying from white, yellow, ochre, red, brown, green, blue, and black. You can just go by car and stop one by one on each of them and take some pictures. This is what most of the visitors do. We did this on our first day in the morning. After that, we went to the circular hike number 3 around Los Roques de Garcia. It's worth trying. This is one of the trails that I can really recommend. I suggest you to go around 2 or 3 p.m. because the sun at this point will give you the best views. You will need around 1.5 to 2 hours to complete this route, depending on how much you stop. And it's a circular walk, so you will finish in the same point where you started. That's fantastic, considering that you can also park your car in the parking lot there. One advice, the parking capacities may be limited depending on at what time you come to visit it. The level of difficulty is relatively low, but you need to be aware of one thing. The last part of the trail has a very steep segment with 60% slope. So we started upside down. We went down on hard part to finish with a very easy and smooth walk back. Next day, we came back and we made it to the summit of Mount Teide. This was our main goal, to come to the island.
Hi guys, good morning. Today we are going to go to the peak of Mount Teide. So we need to wake up very early and arrive there also early so we can
get picked up and do the 4,000 meters, nearly 4,000. We will have a lack of oxygen and it will be quite hard. I need to bring a lot of clothes because in there is very cold. Well, we start to drive there. It will take 1 hour until the base camp.
Okay.
See you soon.
And now I will explain you all the detail you need to know in advance to reach this incredible milestone. How to arrive to the top cable car station. Go to the summit of Mount Teide is one of the most popular challenges that you will find on this island. But if you want to visit the surroundings of Mount Teide's peak without including the summit, it's actually possible. There are 3 different ways to arrive there. First, all on foot. You must arrive there either using the trail number 7, which will take you around 5 hours and 30 minutes to ascend, and around 4 hours and 15 minutes to descend. Or the trail number 9, which is even worse, which will take you around 8 hours to ascend and approximately 6.5 hours to descend, or you can combine both as you please. This requires you to plan the full day, or maybe even 2 days to accomplish this activity. And therefore, it's only recommended for experienced hikers. Second, you can also use the cable car ticket and arrive straight away. You must consider that the prices are significantly expensive. One-way ticket will cost you €21 per person and round ticket costs €37 per person. At least the last time we went there. The price chart, you can find it here. You can also combine one-way ticket by cable car and hiking as you wish. From here, you will have breathtaking views from all the south of the island, and you can conduct the trail number 11, Mirador de la Fortaleza, and trail number 12, Mirador de Pico Viejo, without any special requirements. But if you really wish to go to the summit, you must book in advance on special permit. That guarantees you to personal access there. Make sure you bring all the documentation and permit beforehand to avoid any trouble on site. Don't worry, I will guide you through all the process and leave you all the links in the description box below. Okay, now let's talk about how to book the permit. There are 2 options here. The first one is free. You need to open the official website from Parques Nacionales. Then you click booking. Then choose the day that you wish to visit. Click on it. Write how many persons will go in this box. Give your name and personal ID card number, which they will ask you at the entrance. Fill out all the forms, read all the rules, terms and conditions, etc. And you're done. Remember, you will need to book with at least 1 month in advance, or maybe more, depending on the season. In our case, we had only 2 weeks before our trip started, so we had no other choice than choosing the second option, which is going with the tour guide. This option is significantly expensive, but in exchange, you can get permit within 2 weeks. In our case, as you can see here, it costs €91.5 per person. Therefore, I recommend you to plan your trip with time enough. In our case, they pick us up near our hotel, then they brought us by bus until the cable car. The cable car round ticket and permits are already included. They took care of that and then they guided us until the crater in small groups. So far I know they speak Spanish and also English. How to reach the Teide Summit? Once you arrive to the top station at an altitude of 3,555 meters, you will walk until the entrance of the trail number 10, Telesforo Bravo, which is the starting point to lead us to the crater. Here, the National Park guides will ask your ID card and you will start hiking for about 40 minutes until the summit at 3,715 meters, and it will take a little bit less to go back.
Okay, already crossed control point. Now we are ready to go up. We need to wait a little bit for the group and then let's go. With mask is difficult, eh? It's really challenging.
Near the crater, you will notice very hot sulfur fumes coming out along the path. Because this volcano is actually active and could erupt again at any time. From here, you will have a 180-degree viewpoint from all the north of the island, and you will reach the highest point of Spain. Tips you must know before you visit Teide. Here, I will leave you a bunch of tips that you must be aware of before preparing your trip to the Teide National Park. They are very important, so please pay attention. First, be aware of extreme conditions. You are entering a high-altitude area or highlands, which means there are weather conditions like, for example, low pressure, lack of oxygen, temperatures around 0 degrees Celsius, intense UV rays, strong winds, and maybe rock falls among others. You must take extreme precautions. Don't take unnecessary risks. You will never come alone, and bring all the necessary equipment to protect yourself. Second, walk slowly when you hike to the summit. The peak of Teide is around 3,715 meters, so probably you will experience difficulties to breathe. The air here has a lack of oxygen. It means that you need to take more breaths in order to get the same amount of oxygen as you would do at lower altitudes. What will happen is that your heartbeat and blood pressure will become much stronger and faster. You will feel dizzy like after sprinting. The older you are, the harder it will be. Therefore, you must walk slowly. Do not force your energy. Try to relax, take a deep breath, and the most important is to do many stops. For example, stop every 30 meters for some minutes and take your breath back. In our group, only 2 persons weren't able to do it until the peak due to this reason. Third, prevent altitude sickness. If you intend to hike to the summit all the way up on foot, I would highly suggest you to come one day prior to your summit and stay one day or even sleep in the highlands to adapt your body to the altitude. Why? Because above 2,500 until 3,000 meters, you may start feel altitude sickness. After a high effort of hiking, your body will be more susceptible to feel it. The day we visited Teide prior to our summit, one helicopter rescued one man that got acute altitude sickness some meters before reaching the top of the station. What to wear to Mount Teide? Some people might think that because of this island it's summer all year long, you don't need any winter clothes. Well, unfortunately, it can't be more wrong. The temperature here may vary from -7 degrees until 14 degrees Celsius. So it can be really cold. Thus, you must wear a winter jacket, winter breaker, or similar and appropriate winter clothing in layers. Although it may sound basic, you should also bring at least 1 until 2 liters of water per person, something to cover your head from the sun, sunscreen, fully charged phone, hiking footwear, etc. I would also recommend hiking canes to help you walk and maps of the trail, either printed or offline. 5. Be aware of the cable car limitations. Due to the extreme weather conditions that affect this area, you must always count with the chance that there might be a cable car wind interruption your due day and ruin your whole summit experience. Or even worse, you may reach the summit and suddenly the cable car become inoperable and you may have to descend all the way back on foot. So that's why you should always come here early in the morning. Be aware of the cable car timetable as well. Make sure you arrive to the cable car station before the last trip, or you will have to go back on foot. Number 6, don't try to do it all in one day. Depending on how many activities you want to do in Teide, you may want to split them in more than one day. I suggest you to do only 1 hike per day, no more. Although there is time to do more, it can be dangerous. I tell you based on our own experience. We went to the peak of Mount Teide and didn't feel enough, so we went to the Chinyero trail. At 4 p.m., my legs suddenly stopped working. The heat was extreme and we had finished all our 2 liters water. We didn't calculate well our equipment and therefore we had an emergency situation there. So don't be a fool like us. Apart from all of this, there are many other activities that you can do around the Teide National Park. For example, first, rent a buggy. You can book a trip with buggy that crosses around the national park and then go off-road. But we didn't do it because we read that only around 10% of the time we will be off-road. So we found a little bit nonsense for us, especially when we already have a rental car. Besides, it's very expensive. But anyway, I still believe it must have been real fun to try. Number 2, stargazing. If you like astronomy, photography, or both, stargazing in Teide may be perfect for you. Because the Teide National Park has been awarded as a starlight destination, which means it's one of the best places to stargaze, away from light pollution. I read that you can also see Milky Way in the summer. Number 3, other activities out of the national park boundaries. These activities don't take place literally within the national park extension's limit, but they are very near and worth naming. For example, paragliding in Ithanya. This paragliding activity starts from the east side of the island, the base of Teide. From far away, you will be able to see the volcano and a general view from almost all the island. This activity relies completely on the weather conditions, so it's impossible to know if you can do it until the last moment. You must stay in close contact with the activity provider for any last-minute forecast news. Number 5, another trail near the Teide National Park is the lunar landscape near Bila Flor. After a 4-hour trek, you will find this particularly unique moon scenery stunning. Unluckily, we didn't have enough time to visit it. Besides, there is Sendero del Chinyero trail. This one we achieved to do it.
Now we go to Mountain del Chinyero. In here start the life. Long time ago, this was a volcano. This was the last eruption in Tenerife. That's why most of the rocks are black. And then, as you can see, slowly start to appear trees. And this is the beginning of life. The trees start to win territory to the rock and start to become normal soil, not anymore lava flows. And then we will find place to eat first. take a rest, and then we'll start the trip.
Chinyero is the last volcano that erupted in Tenerife, so the landscape here shine for their obsidian black glowy colors. This trail is a circular walk around the volcano where you will cross numerous lava flows and then will go back to the starting point. In this activity, you will spend around 2.5 until 3 hours. The distance is around 7 km and the difficulty level is from intermediate to moderate. Because the volcanic rocks have absorbed a lot of heat, I extremely suggest you to go only in the morning and avoid the hottest season. You must bring a lot of water, at least 2 liters per person, as it is highly probable that you might get lost here more than one time. There are thousands of small paths and you can easily get confused. And never come here without printed or offline maps from the area, because there is no signal there. Finally, one more tip to take into account, there is very limited parking area here. It's only around 4 or 5 cars, and also never leave any belongings inside the car or you may get stolen. Okay, that's the video for today. I also have a video on how to visit Masca, another nice trekking path that they said is Spanish version of Machu Picchu that you can visit in Tenerife. You can click on the top corner here if you wanna watch it. If you find this video useful, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to get notified when there's new video, hit the notification bell and you will get notification from YouTube. See you in the next video. Bye!